Hello everyone, back at it again, and the big change this week is there's no more ice. Well, at least around me, the ice is going fast. Up north I think there's still a little bit of ice left. It's probably really sloppy and porous, but there is ice up there. There is actually some ice still on this pond. I know it doesn't look like it in the video, but it's 99.9% ice free. There's a little bit of scrap ice in the shadows along the east side. Some trees along there. And this is a pond. This is a city pond. Actually did a video here late last fall breaking ice to get out to the water and catch some fish. And so we've come full circle. We shut it down in the fall, and this is either day 1 or 2 of ice out. I don't think many people have been out yet. You can see there's a road on the other side, lots of traffic, and yeah, there's a lot of eyeballs on this pond. It gets hit pretty hard in the summer months because it is a city pond. So I like to fish it early and late, and then I just kind of avoid it in the summer. Just too busy for me. But it's for a city pond. It has pretty clear water. It's basically a puddle. It's not very big at all. Maximum depth is probably 20 feet, but there's a lot of area that's, I don't know, 5 to 10 feet. I got my fish finder with me today because the water is really cold and I was anticipating the fish giving me a hard time. So I'm kind of leaning on that fish finder to help me locate places where I want to fish. Started off fishing a Ned rig. That's a Z-Man hula sticks on a 1/10 ounce weedless arsenal head. I thought they'd go for that, and I did have a few bites, but they really didn't eat it very well, and every time I'd set the hook I'd miss them. Putting a little scent on my hula sticks here. Scent helps, especially in cold water. I think the fish just really aren't that aggressive. The water temperature, I mean, the water still has ice on it, so I would guess the water temperature is probably high 30s, low 40s maybe. So these are very cold fish. But we're going to get a few. Really, anything I can get to bite on this day is a bonus. The air temperatures are pretty nice. It's about mid-50s. We've got a little bit of a north wind. There's supposed to be less wind than there actually is. The forecast was off by quite a bit, but it's all right. It's a small pond, so I can handle just a little bit of a ripple. It's no big deal. The hard part is getting these fish to bite or chase something, actually. But we are going to get a few of them. So I fished around with a Ned rig for a while, but for whatever reason, they weren't too into it. Then I switched to Kayak Easy Shiner. It's a 3.5 inch Easy Shiner. And yeah, this is a very subtle swim bait. I like it in cold water. It's not very durable at all. The cold water seems to help with the durability just a little bit. And it has just a little bit of a tail wag, not much roll. And it's very subtle, which is what I like for very cold water. And it doesn't take too long. I mean, I just put that bait on. I added a little smelly jelly to it. We got a first fish coming in. And that is a black crappie. It's not a bad one either. I'm happy to catch just about anything this time of year, so we are on the board. Yeah, nice looking fish. Let him go. And see about catching another one. I had a few more bumps on the Easy Shiner, but they weren't really eating it like I was hoping they would. And part of that is because I'm using a 3.5 inch bait, and I think I was running through some crappie. So what I did is I switched to a little ultralight rod and a Z-Man shad fries on a 1/13 ounce head, basically a panfish rig. And pretty soon I got another panfish, but it wasn't a crappie, it was a yellow perch. Not a bad one. Again, I'm happy for anything this time of year. It's very early March when this was filmed. And yeah, anything at this point is a bonus. There he is. Handsome fish. Off he goes. Alright, I got the ultralight again. And it's just a slow, steady retrieve with that shad fries. I'm probably fishing just a little bit faster than I should, but there's some weeds down there. I'm trying to keep it above the weeds. And if I feel the bait tick the top of the weeds, I give it a little pop and then speed up just a little bit. If I feel like I'm getting too high, I slow down. And the fish, they track it. And if you go too fast, they just won't close down enough to eat it. So ideally you want to be going pretty slow. And then when you feel one eat it, you just kind of lean back on them. You don't need a super powerful hook set. And we got another crappie. Yeah, it's not bad. All right, we're getting it done, slowly but surely. The wind picked up a little bit more, and I put that shad fries down and picked up the easy shiner again. And of course, the wind calmed down again, and I just stuck with it because, I don't know, I was being a little lazy. And we got another species. This is, I don't know, small to medium pickerel. It's a lot more active than the crappie or perch. Trying to make sure I don't lose some blood to him. I took my glove off so he doesn't get my glove all slimy. And off he goes to wreck some little panfish's world. Alright, this is just a minute or two later with the easy shiner, just slow rolling it. Same kind of deal. I'm just trying to tick the tops of those weeds, but not get hung up in the weeds. That's the biggest problem at this pond, is that if you fish something like, I don't know, like a blade bait or something, it's just going to drag weeds all day. So this little pond has weed growth pretty much throughout the whole pond. And yeah, just try to keep my bait above the weeds, and seems like another pickerel liked that presentation. He had a hook in his mouth, in the side of his mouth, and so I pulled that out. I don't know if that was left over from Ice Fisherman, or, I mean, it kind of looked more like a weedless EWG style hook. There it is. I pulled that right out of his cheek. So I'm just putting it in one of my little tackle boxes that I bring out in the kayak, so I don't accidentally sit on it or stick myself in the leg with it. But right after ice out, I find a lot of fish with hooks in them still. Either people get cut off when they're fishing through the ice, or maybe even earlier in the year, or broken off by the hole, or who knows, or they don't know how to get the hook out, and so they just cut the line, or they don't want to touch the pickerel. But I end up pulling a lot of hooks out of fish every year, especially in the spring. Alright, what's this? We're coming up on something. Could be a bobber, could be a lure. Nope. It's just a can of Budweiser. Empty can too. So whenever I run into cans in the water or anything floating around that shouldn't be there, I always try to pick it up and put it in the kayak and get rid of it later. I mean, this is a city pond, and there's going to be people littering and throwing trash out the window while they're driving, even though they shouldn't. That's what they do. And then eventually that trash blows into this little pond, and it's kind of too bad. But yeah, whenever I see trash like that, I always pick it up and try to leave the place a little cleaner than I found it. Alright, I got the Kayak Easy Shiner rod going again, just because I've probably caught the most fish on that. Trying to dial in a bite. It's tough because the water's cold and the fish are not too interested in chasing today. So the deal is let it cast it out, let it hit the bottom, a few fast cranks to get it out of the weeds, and then slow, steady retrieve. If I feel something pop it, I give it a little pop back, or if I snag some weeds, I pop it out. But in general, it's just a slow, steady retrieve. And every once in a while, a fish picks it off. And this happens to be the target species. There are bass left in here. He's not a big one, but it's a start. Even if I hold him up to the camera, he doesn't look that big. And he's really not. He's only about a pound, maybe a pound and a half. But I'll take him. I'll take him on this day. And I tried like heck to get some more fish, but the wind seemed to die down, and that was almost the end of the bite. And then this beaver came out of its beaver lodge and was slapping his tail at me. And then somebody launched a fully rigged bass boat into this little puddle and started fishing in between me and the beaver. And I decided, you know what, I've had enough fun. Let's just head for the truck while the going's good. Sun's going down. It was a real nice day out here today. Mid-50s. When the wind wasn't blowing, it was actually very pleasant out here. And I got a few fish. Got the skunk out of the boat pretty quickly with those crappie and panfish. So all in all, a pretty happy day. And I was glad to have a few hours out here and catch a few fish. All right, thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll list all the gear in the video description, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya!